Hello Foggies, and welcome to episode 9 of The Foggy Author. If we haven't met before, my name is Brett Jackson and I write books through the haze of brain fog. In this week's My Writing Life, boy is it hot! Today, Saturday 21st of June, is apparently the hottest day of the year so far, boasting 33 degrees centigrade. That's 91.4, and I've just come back from a barbecue. I've also got some writing done and completed Time Clones Book 2, then converted it to chapters. And now I'm starting on the formatting. Once I've finished this, I should be sending the book out to beta readers. In other news, I spent a lot of time on lives with other authors, supporting them and cracking on with work. When you work with other authors, this is called body doubling, and I've done a lot of it this week. It's boosted my creativity and helped me stay on course. I've been on lives with Skye SD Hegyes, Katie from Paperbacks and Ponytails, Adara Spence, Jenna Streety and Rachel D.Adams, and spent time with so many other authors. It's been incredible becoming part of the authortube community. I have some sad news about this week's Wednesday Writing Live. Unfortunately, because we're having our internet upgraded, there will be no live this Wednesday. Ask the Author. In this week's Ask the Author, Kirstie asked, which book would I take with me to a desert island? That's an easy question to answer, but difficult to put in practice because the book I would take has never been written. After watching the films and being a fan favourite for decades, I wish there was a book of everyone's favourite time travel trilogy, Back to the Future. I even considered writing a book version of the films, Book to the Future. I decided to write my own brand of time travel instead. And now I throw the same question back to you. What book would you take on a desert island and why? Feel free to let me know in the comments. Thanks Kirstie for asking this question. If you'd like to ask the author a question about my life as an author, or anything about time travel or my books, please feel free to get in touch by leaving a comment underneath this video. Book of the Week. This week's book of the week is Artemis, a gripping sci-fi thriller from the author of The Martian, Andy Weir. Ever had a bad day? Try having one on the moon. Welcome to Artemis, the first city on the moon. Population 2,000, mostly tourists, some criminals. Jazz Bashara is one of the criminals. She lives in a poor area of Artemis and subsidizes her work as a porter with smuggling contraband onto the moon. But it's not enough. So, when she's offered the chance to make a lot of money, she jumps at it. But, though planning a crime in 1/6 gravity may be more fun, it's also a lot more dangerous. When you live on the moon, of course, you have a dark side. Copies of this book are available on Amazon. As always, the link is below in the description. Featured article. In this week's featured article, why I don't use AI to write my books. Today I've got a little test for you to do. I want you to take out your mobile phone, open the calculator and type in the following sums. 7 times 8, 128 minus 72, and one final sum, 32 times 4. The answers to these are 7 times 8 equals 56, 128 minus 72 equals 56, and 32 times 4 equals 128. If you scored 3 out of 3, well done. If you did these sums without using a calculator, even better. But what on earth has this little test got to do with this week's featured article? When I went to school, we would learn the times tables off by heart. How to do these things, such as long multiplication and long divisions and more. The year before we changed our exams, things changed and the school introduced calculator use in the exam. The day of the exam, I started by writing my name on the paper. Then I read the paper all the way through and started answering the questions. At the bottom of page 1, I was using a calculator. At the top of page 2, I started typing in the sum in the calculator, and I was shocked when I had realised what the sum was. 1 plus 2, and I pushed the calculator to the end of the desk, then finished the rest of the paper without using it, instead using all the knowledge I had amassed to complete the rest of the sums. These days, I still use my brain for most sums, and I'm happy with that. As a foggy author, I like to try and push my brain to exercise it and keep it working to the best of its ability. When I look around, I see people using calculators. It reminds me of that day when I used one on such a simple sum in my exams, and I'm reminded that if I want to exercise my brain, I should use it as much as possible. Artificial intelligence has brought lots of criticism over the last few years. People claim it's stealing jobs, is a plagiarist's tool, and that it uses lots of energy, so it isn't even very environmentally friendly. But there's something that a lot of people haven't thought of. If you use AI to write books, you may be hitting all of those categories. But the most important one is you will stop using your brain as much. And as a foggy author, that's a bad thing because it may even lead to medical complications such as dementia or Alzheimer's. If you want to keep being creative, if you want to use your brain, if you want to get out of the haze of brain fog, you have to mentally exercise your brain regularly. And typing a small prompt that chucks out a mediocre book into an AI agent is not going to help you accomplish that. To summarise, I like to improve myself, so I get creative every day. I also like to save money, so I don't have to pay for AI. And I want to produce top quality reading for people like you, and that's just not possible with AI. As the technology grows, the one thing it seems to be doing is making us more reliable on it. And quite frankly, I just enjoy the feeling of being unplugged sometimes, which is the reason why I have a paper calendar, handwrite in a journal, and enjoy not using AI for writing my books. One last thing, although I'm not keen on AI as a person, I do sometimes use it for marketing ideas and the occasional prompt or suggestion for featured articles in my newsletter. But once the prompts come up, I will tweak them manually and write the articles without AI. With my tech background, I do wonder how far AI will go, and with my sci-fi author thoughts, I sometimes consider just how much AI will affect the human race, whether it makes a positive difference to our lives or a negative one. And that's why I don't use AI to write my books, create the covers, or anything else to do with the creation process from first draft to publication. Don't forget, next week's Wednesday Writing Live will not be happening because we're having our internet upgraded. So I'll see you again sometime on another Wednesday Writing Live. As always, updates will be posted in this newsletter, so keep an eye out for that. And that's all for this week. Stay tuned for the next exciting episode of The Foggy Author, and I'll see you again in the future.